actually come in the way of tarbiyah. If you can understand that beforehand, then Alhamdulillah, it can be a big boon for parents. As a parent, when would you come to know that you have been successful? Your parenting techniques have been successful. Your parenting has been successful and you have grown successful children. Now, again, the moment I say success, there are a lot of questions that come, what is the meaning of success, blah, blah, and all of that. Anyways, let's keep it very simple. And if you have to just think of this, then it's so obvious. It's so obvious that by the time you understand, by the time you realize that you were successful or not, you have already lost the golden years of tarbiyah. The children are either completely adults or they are incorrigible. That means you cannot change or correct or help them anymore. Once there was this famous saying. Once somebody came to Noman Ali Khan. He's a very famous uh, Islamic leader there in US. So try. My child doesn't listen to me. He doesn't come to Salah. He doesn't come to Masjid along with me. I've been I've been pushing him to come, but he doesn't. So the first thing he asked him was, "How old is he?" Now he's about 17 or 18 something. Okay. Then he asked the second question was, "When did you start to ask him to come to Masjid along with you?" And the father was like, "Just this year." So Noman Ali Khan said, "If you have not even come to Masjid all these 16 years, now start, how is going to do that? When he was a kid, when this child was a toddler, right? When they needed time, you did not have time. And now, when you want the time, of course they don't have time for you." The point which I'm trying to make is that many a times we realize whether our parenting is good or not, whether we are successful or not. Let's utilize it's back on experiences of others are always expensive. By the time you realize whether your experiences, your techniques are working or not, it will be too late. So let's utilize, let's try to catch up, let's try to understand why certain things work and why certain things do not work. Okay, so let us start with some common phrases that we often use in our homes. Very common, right? Whether we speak Urdu, you speak English, you speak any other language, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, whatever you speak. As a parent, we all have some commonalities. Right? So the most common statement that any mother usually, right, is, let me bring this one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Bhai, we are able to see.
The most common dialogue that every mother uses is, can you read it on the screen? Wait till your
Wait,
father gets home. Right? Now, this is so interesting. It is so interesting. The thing is, what does this mean? What does this mean when you say, wait till your father gets home? Of course, we're trying to, trying to reprimand, trying to punish them, or at least trying to make them realize that maybe they are doing something wrong, and then the father comes, he will take care of them. Okay, it's the most common thing that every mother says in every Indian household. I would not even say Muslim household. It's a complete. It's a typical Indian phenomenon. Wait till your father can. Let your Abu come home. Let your father come home. Okay. So what? Is this father a punisher? That's how we want children to associate father as. It's a simple thing. Wait till your father gets home. Okay, fine. Then what? Now, see, from our point of view, as a parent, we are just trying to scare them. That, and you're also trying to tell them that I'm still good as a mother. I'm still good. I'm not doing anything. I'm not punishing you. But when the father comes, he will take care of you. So that means you're telling them that mother is the one who loves and father is the one who punishes. No, you're not saying this, but this is what it means. No, think from child's perspective. Do you think if you keep on repeating this thing every day or very regularly, wait till your father gets home, do you think he will even wait or he will wish his father to come home? Just imagine how his reaction would be when your father come home. Children will be like, they will try to hide. They will try to hide away from you. As a father, when I come home, I love all my kids to come and hug me. If I don't find, Alhamdulillah, I've got 4 kids. If I don't find any of them not available when I come home, I am curious. What happened? Where is he? Where is she? But but if my wife keeps telling them that wait till your father gets home, they'll be like, oh, he's coming. It's better to hide. Oh, go on, go. Let's go and sleep. Why? Father is a bad guy. He'll come and start. He will listen to mom only, and he will start beating us. You will not even have beaten them, but this is how the impression is going to be. Okay. The next thing, the challenge a father would have is that the moment he comes home and mothers tell him that your kid has done like this, and like that. The father has a challenge now. What does he do? Should he listen to his wife and believe what she says? Should he ask child for clarification and justification? If he asks for clarification and justification to the child, that means he's not trusting his wife. Now, if he doesn't ask for clarification and justification, that means he's blindly believing his wife. Again, now imagine from child's perspective, what is going on in this child's head, right? So, anyways, coming back to the point, this kind of statement is always very detrimental to the entire relationship, to the entire family fabric, the building block of a family. It is detrimental to that entire relationship because we are trying to make our fathers monsters by saying this. The other thing, when you keep on doing this, after some time, the children will start, will be like, oh, okay, what's going to happen now? Now, initially, in their prime years, they will be worried, they will be scared of their fathers, they will maintain distance from their fathers, they will wish their fathers will not come home, or they come home only after they sleep or something like that. So this is the initial distance. Later on, what happens when the children grow and hearing such dialogue, what they will do is they will become defiant, stubborn. Because what will happen now is that now they will get some time. They'll be like, okay, fine, let him know. Okay, fine. Because now they're growing up. And the mother is saying, I'll tell your father. Okay. By the time the father comes home, they will get enough time to think of a lot of reasons. Right? And and also, you know, to present themselves in such a way that they are right. Ultimately, what is happening is that the child is running away from responsibility. Now, let me present this 72-year research, longest research in the history of this world. It was conducted by Harvard University for 72 years. 72 years, yes. And you know what? So that means it may not be conducted by one person. Yes, a team of people, they changed. One team, you know, they died, they passed away, the other team came, carried forward. 72 years. What were they researching? They were researching on children. They started doing the research on a group of children until these children passed away from this world for 72 years. So what was the research? They were doing a research on what are the factors that make your child successful. What are the factors that make your child successful? After 72 years of research, they found only two things. And they said, if you want your children to be successful, then teach them household chores. What do small things, uh, what you do in your home, like small errands, like, uh, what, putting your bed properly, or, helping mother in kitchen, or what were small things, like, uh, sweeping floor, or maybe washing dishes or something like small things in home. Second thing, they said, help them, allow them, or help them to love each other. So basically, the two things were help them with household chores. Second, help them with how to love each other. I was like, the moment I read this, I was surprised. What, 72 years of research? And what are these two things? Just these two simple things. So we try to, uh, I try to research on this research further. And I found that the bottom line of these two things, let's say when you're teaching your children to do household things, small things at home, that means you are making them independent, you are making them responsible for themselves. You're making them responsible so that they can do things for themselves. They'll not be dependent on others. Second, when you teach them how to love and take care of each other, that means we are making them responsible for the others. Ultimately, the point is we are making them responsible human being. So here, if you come back to what not to do, the moment you tell them, wait till your father gets home, you are teaching them how to avoid responsibility of their actions. Instead of talking to them, you must be now asking me what to do instead of that. Yes, ultimate solution is talk to them. Always the best solution is to talk to our kids. Talk to them, ask them what happened. Why did it happen this way? Why did you do this way? What could have been a better way to do this? Instead of just blaming them, punishing them, scaring them with things like wait till your father gets home, it's better that you talk to them. Otherwise, they become defiant, they become stubborn, and they will cook up reasons to justify their actions. And finally, the end goal will be they will avoid taking responsibility, which is so against what you really want. You want your children to be successful, but by blaming them or by putting them into such situations, you're actually making them unsuccessful in life because they are learning how not to be responsible. Wow. Any question? Anything that you may have so far? Any questions? Nothing? Shall we proceed? Most kids who are kind of authoritarian, See, there's a difference between authoritative and authoritarian. Yes, authoritative and authoritarian. What is the difference? Very small difference. Very small difference. When you say authoritative, it means that the parents they they listen to their children, and they also make their children listen to them. So it is both ways. Authoritative parents, they listen to their children, and they also make their children listen to them. So it is both ways. But authoritarian parents, they do not listen to the children. They only make their children listen to them. So it's always like my way or the highway. It's my way or the highway. So tell me, how many of us in this call are authoritarian? Anybody? No raising hands. Nobody would like to accept, acknowledge that I may be wrong. I authoritarian. Now, here it's see, if we as adults, if we as adults do not find courage to accept our mistakes, if we as adults do not find courage to accept our mistakes, how in the world, how in the world do you think our little children will find the courage to accept their mistakes? Unless, unless, unless what? Unless we create that environment. Unless we create an environment wherein failures are accepted as a normal thing. Failure is not opposite of success. Please note my words. Failure is not opposite of success. Failure is a part of the success. But oftentimes we make failure a taboo. Oh my. If somebody, if especially our children, if they make a mistake, oh my god, they're gone. That's it. How can you? How could you? What about us? Don't we make mistakes? Are we all perfect? The kind of pressure that we put on our children, especially under authoritarian parents, who knows only how to speak, how to blame, how to punish, and how to make their way my way or highway. Right? They do not leave any room for children to offer explanation. You would have heard, you would have seen such. Yes, if you have not raised your hand, you may not be one of the, you may not be one of the authoritarian parent as such. But most of you would have seen such authoritarian parents in your family. Maybe your parents would have been like that, or maybe your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your friends, or somebody in your family, somebody would be authoritarian, right? And the symptom of being authoritarian is like, you keep asking questions and you don't even give them time to answer. Yes, you keep just, it's all one way, my way or the highway. So what happens? Till when do you think the children will take it? I don't want to use that word, but that's how it is. Till when will they take the shit? Till when will they accept this nonsense, rubbish? Huh? After some time in their life, they slowly learn how to handle these situations. because we need to vent, right? Otherwise you'll feel so suffocated that you cannot even survive. If the child is, I would say rather that such parents, or this might be or the other, it is better for their children to become disrespectful. It is better for them to become disrespectful instead of becoming suicidal. Yes, you heard it right. If the parents are very, very authoritarian, then children usually have suicidal tendencies. They prefer to die rather than live with such parents. They try to find every single small opportunity to kill themselves or harm themselves in some way or the other. Or they slowly pent up the anger and finally blast in such a way that they become completely disrespectful, insubordinate, and they don't start respecting anymore. So, you understand. So there are only two ways. One, that the child keeps hiding this, storing this pain, this insult, this fear for long, then he'll become so scared that he wishes to die, or he becomes so repulsive that he'll blast and become disrespectful. And many times it is found that the children by the authoritative parents, the more they control, the more the parents try to control early in their childhood, the more they become disrespectful, disobedient, and unsuccessful later on in their lives. So on one hand, it is good to have rules. Rules, yes, we should have some rules, right? Why should we? In fact, I told, I think I've shared this story many times. Many times, I find that it is the uh, the more we push our children, the more they become what do you call, insensitive. I went to I've been to Dubai, and I visited one of my friends there. And I saw that all three of his kids, they're completely glued to phones. And I'm like, I'm just, after talking to my friend for a little while, and then I just tried to, inquire. I was feeling very uncomfortable seeing children like this. I usually prefer to talk to children, engage them, and all of that. But then I'm just not able to talk to them. They're so glued to their screens, and my parents are not telling them anything. Ultimately, I couldn't take it. And then, I asked the parents, they're like, what can we do? They have become like this, blah, blah, blah. They were showing their helplessness. And then they started trying to put pressure on them, but they're not listening. They're completely, insensitive to their parents. So then what I did, okay, I said, okay, fine, let's do one thing. I went near them. I then simply inquired, "Hey, what is this game you're playing? What is this game? Oh, wow, what is this game? What is this game? When did it launch? Oh, so you're just a learner in this game. Oh, no, I'm doing this. Oh, you're doing this? Wow. Oh, no, you must really be smart at this. Are you playing together?" So I just started playing with them. I just started working with them, and in such a way that I was talking to them about what they like, about their own emotions, about what they like, and what makes them feel good. After some time, I could see visibly that they started showing interest in my conversation rather than the phone. Then I asked them a couple of more things and this and that, and then slowly, can you teach me blah blah and all of that? And then I engaged them a little while, and then when I got their attention, I told them, I asked them, inquired them, so how do you play? How much do you play? And all of that. And then I asked them, do you think, is it a good thing to play games for throughout the day? They're like, oh, no, why will I play throughout the day? They don't even realize that they're actually playing it throughout the day, and they're not even realizing that there are guests in the home, and they're not supposed to be doing it. So that's how they were glued. So my idea was, okay, let's do one thing. Let's be responsible, blah blah. Why don't we come up with some kind of rules for our family? I asked, I brought these children together. My children were also there with me, so I made a group of 5, 6 children together, and then I started discussing with them. Okay, so how should our house be? Okay, let's define our home. What should be the name of our home? What should be some golden rules? Come on, let's set up our own rules. So I was asking children to frame rules for their home, and you know what? These kids who are glued to the screens, right? Who are not even listening to their parents. They were writing rules, and there they were talking about the screen time and how much screen time should be there in a day. Now, if the children come with their own rules, don't you think they are more?
Your voice is not audible, Ms. Bobby.
So as a parent, we must keep adding to this behavior, highway or the highway. Instead, let's be respectful with kids. Let's have two-way communication. Let's design rules instead of just pushing them. Why do you think is the rule of our home? Should involve them. So that way, there'll be more of you as a everybody, considering everybody's opinion. Remember, take opinion from children is give respect. Write this down, please. Uh, even your brothers and sisters also. Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. What do you mean by that? What are we actually trying to say? It's such a common dialogue. It's such a common dialogue, right? But what are we actually trying to do by saying that? You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, such a heavy dialogue. What does it mean? Keep yourself in children's shoes. Ask yourself, what does this mean? Have you taught them what is shame? Right? In Urdu, we say sharamana. Right? You should be ashamed. What is the shame? When do we teach them shame? How can we shame them without even teaching them what is shame? What is shame? We should be ashamed to use such a thing. They need see the shame itself is shamed by saying this dialogue, by using this dialogue. Because the children needs to learn what is shame. They need to take it positively. Now suddenly you make them ashamed of themselves. It's like seeding. It's like sowing the seed of what? Depression, of frustration, of self-hate, unknowingly. See, you know what? Previous days, earlier days, we might have grown this way. Our parents might have used such things, but those were different days. Things were not that bad. We had joint families. We had nothing much to do. Even if our parents would scold us, we would just run outside, play with our friends, family. We had gala time. We could run outside. Can you allow your children to go out and play on the road, in the playground, without supervision? No, right? You cannot. But you used to go. You used to play outside. You had friends in the neighborhood. You used to play in the playground. You used to play outside your home. I mean, you see the difference right here. How happy-go-lucky you were, jolly good fellow kind of a person you were, right? But your children do not have those luxuries. Yes, playing outside in the playground is a luxury these days. You have drastically changed your parenting habits. You're more concerned about the safety of children, right? You acknowledge that the world has changed, but you still use the same old dialogues to groom them. Why? When we know that we cannot even send our children outside to play, when we know that our children do not have real friends anymore, all they have is what? Online friends, or maybe acquaintances, but no real friends. The world has changed so drastically. In such a world, you're shaming them. Children are already very, very, very low on self-confidence these days. According to Simon Sinek, he says that these children in our labs right now, they are the weakest generation on the face of the planet. They want instant gratification. Everything they want right now. They're impatient. They cannot wait for things. They cannot handle pressure. Now, when they're already so gullible, and I'm not getting the right word. I can't even say sensitive. They're more like um, uh, what do you call them? Weak, meek. I don't even have a proper word to use for the children these days. But one thing I know, right? That they're like easily um, uh, they will be hurt easily. You know, so such children who are already very weak, for them, if we are using these words like should be ashamed of yourself. So one thing that is happening is they are getting very much. They're getting scared and threatened, right? They get threatened. Sometimes they don't even realize the meaning of shame, so they start blaming themselves. Why am I here? Why did I even do this? Or why do I have these parents? Yes, this is a very common phenomenon in the children today. Did you talk to them? If you talk to children today, you will know that very often, more often than not, they wish they had different parents. You and I, when we were kids, even till now, even if our parents were not that good, we always used to love our parents. We would never hear anything bad about them, and we loved our parents irrespective of what they did. But these days, our children are not like that. If you're not good to them, they wish that they had a different father, they had a different mother. And the worst part is they learn how to be defensive instead of, again, whenever you reprimand children, whenever whenever you reprimand children, that means you try to correct them, because reprimanding or scolding them is when they make a mistake, right? Usually, all these things that you're doing is what not to say. That means mostly we use these such words when we're trying to correct the behavior of our children. That means something went wrong. If something went wrong, then obviously you're trying to help them correct that. For that to happen, they must accept their mistakes. But instead of accepting their mistakes, they become more defensive. They learn how to justify. And finally, the whole purpose of your scolding or your tarbiyah is gone. So please, let's not use this term. You should be ashamed of yourself. That it's going to heavy, it's going to weigh very heavily on their hearts and their mind. Anyways, so like this, I've got more than 50 such things that you should not be using, and I'll try to be little more faster from next week. I don't know if I have more time. Dr. Fazal Saab, could you please let me know if I should continue, or should we call it a day for now and continue next week?
Yeah, we'll continue next week, inshallah. 6 to 6:40 is the time.
Okay, 60. Okay. So, Jazakallah khair, everybody, for being here, for attending this session. And I really request you to please share your feedback so that we can plan our sessions in a better manner going forward. This session will most probably be on the YouTube as well. You can also put your comments or suggestions over there, so that it will help us, design presentations and this content for you going forward. Jazakallah khair. Subhanallah bihamdi. Subhanallah bihamdi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Over to you, Fazil sir.
Jazakallah Mizrahi. Alhamdulillah, a lot of important points came up. If we can at least remember those key points, we have to be authoritative, not authoritarian, and we should not admonish the children saying that you should be ashamed of yourself, and don't make them hate their fathers. Jazakallah Misbahuddin. Inshallah, we'll be making notes of these things, and inshallah we'll be using them in our lives. And next week, try to invite all the other parents also. We have so many schools, alhamdulillah. If we target the parents, it's a huge crowd that is available for us, and Sunday mornings are usually free. So inshallah we'll try to invite other parents also and increase the number. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.